Hi everyone. In today's video we're going to cover moving or selling your babies that you've produced. If you like what we've done so far, please like, comment, and subscribe, as our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by this summer so we can share our egg cutting videos. Now, let's get into this. When you produce babies, you are obviously doing it with the intent of producing something that you want, usually, or something that will produce something that you want, and that always leads to having extras. That being said, the responsible keeper will then get those babies feeding well, so that way whoever they end up with will not have an issue with them feeding. Now, once you've done that, one of the most typical ways to go about this is to find a local expo or show and buy a table and set up your animals to sale. Doing so, you'll need to know your market value. Like for all of these, you'll need to know the market value, because you're not going to get exorbitant prices for your animals just because you made them. You're going to get the market value or less, because you are also most likely a new breeder. Until you are established as a trustworthy breeder, or you prove yourself to be a trustworthy breeder, people are, especially other breeders, are going to be slightly suspect as to the quality of your animals. Now, beyond the expo and shows, you do have something like Morph Market. There is a bit of an overhead with that, especially in the ball pythons. You have to worry about shipping costs, you have to worry about time of year, and honestly, Morph Market is a pretty good indicator of the market value of a snake. It is not the end-all be-all in the market value, but it's in the neighborhood of what you're after. You can set that up pretty easily. Setting up an account, setting up a seller's account, it's not hard, though. For ball pythons, if I'm not mistaken, you do have to pay a fee, and that fee ends up making Morph Market free for other species, because there are less snakes available in those species that it allows ball pythons to pay for them. Now, beyond Morph Market, and this is actually the reason why this channel exists, is YouTube. I'm actually using this channel, in all honesty, to grow my brand, if you will. I'm trying to use it to show what I go through on a day-to-day basis and what it takes to produce snakes, to feed the babies, to go through all of the day in and day out. And I'm doing so openly, knowing that eventually, hopefully, this will catch on and people will see what I'm doing and will like what I'm doing and possibly even buy my snakes. Now, beyond YouTube, you have, if you're lucky, you'll still have a local Facebook group or possibly a Craigslist. You may even have a mom and pop reptile shop that you might be able to strike a deal with. And with this striking a deal with the mom and pop shops, you have to consider that they have to sell things at retail price, which means you're not going to get retail price for your snake. So you're going to have to deal with what's known as wholesale. Wholesale is a lesser price, usually half as much as market value, roughly. There are exceptions to every rule. You kind of need to feel that out and come to an agreement, and every agreement is different. If you have a pied ball python that market value is $350, you're probably going to sell that occupied to your mom and pop reptile shop for $175 to $200. And the reason being is that they have to make their money too. They have bills to pay. And if you expect them to buy it for $350 and then turn around and sell it for, you know, $600 or $700, you're that's not possible, because then they're having to sell it well above market value. That's just not possible. And along with wholesaling to your local mom and pop shops, there are actually people out there. As a matter of fact, a very common one before the Facebook lockdown was Ben Siegel and Ben Siegel Reptiles. They would put active looking for reptiles. They would say, you know, looking for ball pythons, looking for reptiles out on forums and out on the internet, looking for people to wholesale buy large lots of reptiles from, so that they could then turn around and sell them on their auction platform. These places still exist, a little bit harder to find, but you definitely can and will find people that wholesale. And when you have a large volume of reptiles that need to be sold, this is a viable option for you. Now, that being said, you don't need to just go produce, you know, 13 clutches of snakes, because most likely you're not going to be able to afford it, at least not in your first season. It's best to slowly work your way up to this, because you also have to have the space to have 13 clutches of babies. You need the money to feed 13 clutches of babies, and then, you know, you need to work on having the infrastructure to support all that. And it's best to work up slowly. And in the next video, we will discuss tying everything in the last several videos together into one cohesive lump that becomes a yearly process of what it takes to be a hobby breeder. All right, everyone, have a great day.